Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the FFP Alignment Podcast. It is the #1 health and fitness podcast, according to my mom. So share that. It technically is. According to my family and my boyfriend, #1 on the charts, y'all. Hi, happy Friday, Junior. Almost the weekend for all of us. I am looking forward to this next weekend because, oh my God, you know what? We need to talk about my last weekend. For those of you who remember or pay attention to my TikTok account, my boyfriend and I are doing dry February with, I will say, there is one exception with Valentine's Day because I gotta have some champagne on Valentine's Day. But the purpose of doing a dry month isn't to just do a dry month. It's to break certain habits, get out of some certain mental habits, I guess. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, when it comes to drinking. So it's not just about avoiding it entirely and then getting right back on the train, right? So I definitely wanted to talk about that today, and we're just diving right in. And this past weekend was the very first weekend I realized in a very, very long time, like probably a decade. Oh my God, has it been a decade? At least, I can't remember every single weekend in the past 10 years, but I can confidently probably say that in at least minimum of a decade where I haven't drank on a weekend. I'm 33, because I really didn't start drinking until I was in my mid-20s. I had some drinks, obviously, before that, but it just was not like, was never a part of that culture. I never wanted to be a part of that culture. As far as like going to happy hour and go to the bar late at night, I just never was. So yeah, I had that realization, and did I feel a little shame about it? Almost. Kind of like, ooh, is that bad, or is that not bad? You know what I mean? So I had that realization. So this past weekend, it definitely had a couple humps to get over, if you feel my drift. And that's exactly why I wanted to do this month of no alcohol for the most part. Was because, like, for example, let me tell you what we did. So Friday night, we just stayed in. We didn't do anything. What did we do? There was one thing we did last week. What was it? Oh, we did trivia night. Our friend group is starting to do a weekly Thursday trivia night at a local bar. Of course, where else are you gonna do trivia? And it ended up just being him and I going. And usually I don't drink on the weekdays, but it was basically the weekend, and normally I would have probably had like a glass of wine usually I do like tequila sodas because #healthy. And hey, Jasmine, you want to come up here? Come on. She's been so cuddly lately. It's been adorable. So yeah, we did the whatchamacallit on Thursday, and Mark's doing it with me, and I kind of told him, I was like, hey, by the way, don't feel pressure to like do this just because I said so. I just told you to do it. I told you to do this with me because I wanted to make it easier on me. Like, this is a very selfish thing. #self-awareness. And he's like, no, I'm on the train too. Like, there's so many facets to it with, like, saving money and just taking a break, saving calories, all that stuff as far as like his end of things. So we did that, and I just chugged several club sodas in lime, which is quite tasty, honestly. And I don't think we did anything Friday. But it was honestly, like, I probably would have I wouldn't have had if it was just a regular night where I did have some drinks. I probably would not have felt great the next day, right? like I probably would not have had a hangover. I'm good at avoiding those for the most part. But knowing that the next day was Friday, I was like, well, I still gotta do stuff. I still gotta work. So, but I still would have been a lot more tired. You know, the sleepiness and the lack of energy and motivation definitely would have been down the drain. So I felt really good Friday, and that was really cute and fun of me. And then we didn't do anything that night. Was that Friday or Saturday? No, it was Friday. We actually did do something. Jeez Louise, what did we do? I know we went to a restaurant, but which one was it? Where the F did we go? I know where we went after. Oh, okay. We went to a local restaurant there. It's called Hawker's. It's like Asian street food. So good. Like so good. Like street food. Like you see on those TV shows that you're salivating at. So we had that, and so this is an example of what I'm talking about. Normally when we go out to a restaurant, we sit at the bar. We don't have kids, so I like sitting at the bar. You can usually sit down faster, you get served faster, and also at the same time, you don't feel the pressure to get in and out because a waitress is just coming by like, hi, can I do anything else? Like, I just like to like relax, even though I'm probably in and out at the same amount of time, no matter where I'm sitting. I just mentally just like sitting at the bar. And of course you get drinks at the bar. And at first Mark was like, well, we're not drinking. And he feels like an asshole for not getting drinks when you're sitting at the bar because that's what you're there for. And I'm like, I get it. And he's Mr. like considerate. He's so sweet. I was like, I get it. You don't want to be rude or seem rude or, you know, but at the end of the day, they're getting your tip. They're getting your money. And that's really right? That's what we're all here for. And I also expressed to him, I was like, this is another thing another mental like break I wanted to make was that if I sit at the bar, I don't want to feel that pressure or just like, well, you order a drink. That's what you do. No, it's not what you have to do, right? So that is just like kind of like, you just kind of, what do they say, you know, just rip the Band-Aid off type of thing or, you know, just dive right in. You don't have to do anything like so different or separate. I expressed to Mark, I wanted to go about our lives as normal because we go out a lot, we go to hockey games, we go to the trivia nights, you know, things like that. And all these places we'd be drinking at. But I wanted to do all these things as normal. Nothing's changed except for the fact that we're not going to be having booze. So that, you know, after this month is over, on the days where, hey, drinking's not really in it for me right now, it's like calorie-wise, so I'm not going to do it. It's a lot easier to say yes and not get swept up into the pressure's not the right word, because I don't get pressured, it's just I want to get swept up into the fun and what everybody else is doing and just the merriment of all, and alcohol definitely adds to that, let's be real. Oh gosh, I got an itch. Hold on. Right on my shoulder blade. So that's the whole point of this, was to not get so easily buckle. You know, no one's pressuring me. I have a great friend group. You know, plenty of them are light drinkers, plenty of them are heavy drinkers, you know. We're a good mix of us all, but we're all very mature about each other's preferences, right? So I never feel pressured, but it's more up here, right? The internal like thing, like I definitely want to drink. So that's like the point of it all, is just go about business as usual, but not get so easily just succumb under I really want like this wine spritzer, how cute, you know. So that has kind of been the big development in my life lately. And then on Saturday, there was another hump, because we didn't really have much to do. It was a gorgeous day out. gorgeous. And it was the first weekend in quite some time, several weeks, where we really didn't have anything planned. So we're like, what do you want to do? Which was fun in of itself. We looked at some stuff. There was a vintage market. I was like, let's go. But it was at, Diskin Cider. Yeah, Diskin Cider. That's what it's called. Anyway, it was at a brewery. But it had a bunch of vendors there selling their stuff. It was actually pretty cool. And I looked at Mark, I was like, oh God, that drink sounds so great right now. It's a gorgeous day. All the windows are open, just that let's keep these good vibes going, yeah? And it was fun. And then I was like, let's get lunch. We were never in this area of town, so let's pick somewhere we haven't been to. We went to this Italian/pizza spot. And I'm like, oh, but what's great with pizza? Wine. Or an Aperol Spritz, let's be honest. So I definitely was kind of like a little somewhat mopey about it. Just having that toddler tantrum, not doing something that I really want to do, blah, blah, blah. And got over it though. And of course, coming out of the weekend, you feel what you would expect to feel. And right, very proud of myself. Look at me go. So I was really happy about my check-in this week with Lindsay. It was very strong. I got a shit ton of steps in, got all my workouts in, everything was on point. It was one of the best weeks I've had in quite some time. Probably ever. But you know what? We're all learning. It's all a process. So that is the big exciting news happening in my life. And let's see. So we're going to keep doing that train. So again, even though I am having some champagne on Valentine's Day, come on, guys. Katelynn, no, this is exactly what you're breaking yourself of. Yeah, true. But if you listen to the episode Lindsay and I just did, the episode right before this, we do talk about alcohol and how it can have a place in your life. It doesn't have to be the main focus. It's just, where does it fit? It's a whole thing. It was actually a great conversation. So instead of, trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, how can we make a round peg fit into a round hole, right? Whole deal. So everybody has their own journey with this and their own process. So that's why it was such a great conversation. But listen to it anyway. I could go on and on about this topic. But yeah, it just felt really good. And I'm also really trying to retrain my brain. This is something that I do when I'm really trying to get into a new habit. Or just brainwash myself, if you want to be blunt about it. So every time I just have a moment to myself to think I feel so fucking good right now. I woke up great, had great energy, and it's because I didn't drink last night. It's because I didn't drink last night. It's because I didn't drink last night. Just really, drilling it into my brain that the reason I feel this great is because I didn't drink alcohol last night when, yesterday was Monday. I don't drink on Mondays. Anyway, regardless. And I would have felt fine today, regardless if it was a sober month or not. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that I'm just drilling it into my brain regardless to help kind of change those literal synaptic connections in your brain that you formed over the years into thinking the way that you do. So little brain neuroscience lesson for you guys. Okay, let's move on to our Reddit segment. Did you guys like that from last week? I thought that was cool. It was different little stories. I have another couple here for everybody. Oop, don't get distracted. Ooh, Amazon's coming soon. All right. Come on. Okay, I have another 3 lined up, so let's just dive in. Again, I can't believe I have to say this every time, but send in your questions, coaching questions, life questions, anything like that, anything you want to talk about. Email, DM me, Lindsay, anybody? No, just me. Okay. starting out, how do you guys set proper goals and stay dedicated to them? Happy you asked. I feel like every time I set a goal, it's never effective. It always ends up falling off my radar and I can never fixate on it. I've heard that you need to set proper realistic goals with details. I always set basic ones like lose weight, spend less, be more productive, but I feel like I never stick to them. Are there any strategies or tips you guys use to get your goals and stay dedicated or motivated toward them? That's great. I know, like, before I was really getting into this lifestyle of changing my lifestyle for the better, all of like those motivational speeches you'd hear is like, they don't mean enough to you, you know, or just like something so dramatic, right? And you're right. She's right when it comes to like set proper realistic goals with details. Yes, but lose weight is not detailed. Why do you want to lose weight? Do you just, is it some health conditions you want to help clear up, which even if you don't have any, there are going to be some that will naturally, or is it literally just physique wise, which is like 99% of the population, me included? So it's like, okay, well, and if you've heard my story, you know, you just start with the one thing. This is what I tell people, just start with the one thing. Lose weight. Okay, I know that moving more helps me lose weight. So let's do that. Let's get a walking pad. Let's get my girlfriends together every Friday and do a walk, which I actually do. So do that, or just get out of your daily routine and just do something out of the ordinary that you normally wouldn't do in terms of movement, as an example, and do that. And then you get used to moving more, yay. And then, okay, what else can I do? You start to feel better, right? You probably might be sleeping a little bit better. So you have a little more energy. All right, well, let's go to the gym. Or, you know, it starts to snowball. If you're doing this on your own, right? If you have the funds to get a coach, obviously go that direction, because it's just so beyond valuable. Honestly, so valuable. Even if it's group coaching, you just get so much value out of that. But yeah, work backwards from the end result. Lose weight. Okay, I want to get down to X weight. How do I do that? What do I need to do every single day to get there? I mean, we all know all this stuff. Let's use another example. Spend less or be more productive. Like spend less, yeah, I think we all could do that. But that's just more looking at, okay, what is it that I'm spending on that's really not helpful? Like that minimalistic lifestyle, I think has been great that the Instagrammers and the TikTokers are starting to do. There's definitely the opposite that's happening. But really take a look at what you're doing, like, and ask yourself every single time you swipe the credit card, like, is this necessary? Like, is this just, did I get influenced to buy this and it's really not gonna, you know what I mean? Just, you really have to set up a new filter in your brain when it comes to, at least, like, that's been my experience. So when there's something that I desperately want to change when it comes to my day-to-day life, my habits, my lifestyle, and it will take a lot of effort and work, you really have to put in a new filtration system. And it's exhausting. You're constantly questioning yourself. You're constantly evaluating what you're doing or what you're not doing, if this is good, right, wrong, better, best, you know. And that's okay. It's gonna feel messy and weird and uncomfortable and exhausting again. But that filtration system that you've now put in place will start to get refined, and you will now stop spending your money on skincare that you absolutely do not need, you know, things like that. So you kind of have to not trust yourself in a way, if that makes sense. I could keep talking about that. Next, another motivation one. What do you do when you are in a motivation plateau? There are times when I hit motivation plateaus. I still do the things I need to because I have discipline, but continuing to move forward is a challenge. How do you handle these plateaus? Well, as Lindsay says, motivation really is just energy, like literal just energy. And it's good that obviously you just got to keep going through the motions, and you're not going to always have that motivation, right? We all know this. Expect it to happen. Plateaus will happen. Seasons of life will happen that will kind of just bring you down. And if you know you're doing the things day in and day out that are beneficial to you, then that's all you need to worry about. Stop chasing motivation. Stop expecting it to happen. And when it arises in you, absolutely take advantage of it. Just be like, yes, this feels awesome. This is great. Harness it. All the things. But 99% of your life is not going to be motivational, or like you're not going to be motivated the majority of your life, right? Or is that just me? Yeah, just me. That's what happens when you talk to yourself. Just saw the funniest TikTok the other day, where you know the sound bit or that scene in Finding Nemo where Flo is like, introducing Nemo to the people in the aquarium. She's like, oh, have you met my sister Flo? Hi, how are you? And it's like her own reflection. Really funny to me anyway. But yeah, I'm just talking to myself over here. No big deal. Anyway, never rely on motivation is my thing I like to tell people. Is just don't chase it. You know, it's this like, you know, floaty, woaty thing in the sky that you're just going to constantly trying to be grabbing after. And honestly, it'll come to you. It will happen. You're going to get seasons of motivation, but the majority of life is you're just not going to be motivated. All right? Just harness that discipline. Lastly, this one I do like. How to not hold myself back. Girl. I think it's a girl. Okay. I know I'm holding myself back from using my full potential. I feel scared, I don't know why, whenever I try to move forward. I am afraid of academic failures, and I don't feel the same in other areas of my life. Interesting. It's like I'm stopping myself. It's like am I reading? It's like I myself stopping me, as the typo, from doing things. It's like I'm stopping myself from the inside to do things. Why am I resisting my own self-progressing? I distract myself by watching self-growth videos and consuming self-growth content. Those things are good, but only when I am using them to learn something. I literally do them to avoid thinking about failure, and I particularly choose self-help content to reduce my guilt. Interesting. I don't have any idea why I'm doing this. I don't want to just sit and watch things happen. I want to do things. Blah, 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 blah. That's pretty much it. You know, I get that. We've all been there, where we just kind of procrastinate on purpose. And from what I'm guessing, it feels afraid of academic failures is kind of the main bit of this. I would ask yourself why. Who told you that that is like the most important thing? Like, clearly procrastination is like protecting yourself from something. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. Listen to your body. Like Dr. John Deloney says, you know, your body is trying to tell you something. So listen to it. What is it that you're actually actively avoiding? You know, if you are pursuing great things in other areas of your life, but you are afraid of like academic failure, boy, have I failed in academics. I would just see like, okay, well, if you didn't fail in these things, like, where is it taking you? How is it benefiting you? Like, it might look good on paper. You might get a good job from it. Like, what? Get granular with it and think like, where is this leading me, and why? You know, was it my family culture? You know, there's many cultures in the world that put so much value and emphasis on academic achievement, and that says a status thing. It says something about you, and you know, so many people buckle under that pressure. And I'd be curious if it was something along those lines, or are you just not pursuing something that you feel is serving you anymore? If it's something that your heart, you're in a different season of life, or your interests have changed. things like that. You always just need to start with asking yourself questions as to why. Like, just get curious. And when you get curious about anything that you're wondering, whether it's internal about yourself or about other people, the minute you get curious, you just remove all judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. And that's just like a natural human behavior. That's literally just what happens. And when I learned that trick, my life got so much better. My delivery needed to change sometimes. Needed to learn how to, change my delivery when I'm asking somebody questions, or usually it's other people. So I don't feel or sound argumentative. I'm kind of going in another direction here, but that's okay. But when you get curious, it naturally just removes all judgment. People's guards come down, your own guard comes down, and you can kind of just be like honest with yourself. You can be transparent with yourself and with others. That's kind of like where I would go with that. But yeah, so let's see here. I'm getting distracted by my phone again. Ooh. Okay, wow. Anyhow, that was our mini-sode. Yep, that was our mini-sode, guys. We have a lot more coming up, obviously. To support us, you can share episodes that you love on your Instagrams or whatnot, or just to your friends and family. Rating and reviewing really does go a long way for us. We're also, I've been meaning to mention this on YouTube. I know there's 2 of you who are watching us consistently. Hi. Oh, brother. Yeah, we are on YouTube, which is a new venture for us, but just trying to be out there and everywhere to access the people in our little tiny corner of the world to make the world a better place. And but yeah, I must go because I do have to go to the potty. But yeah, thanks for listening in, guys, and have a lovely weekend. Bye. Thanks for listening to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFemme Project. That's FITFEMME Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemmeproject.com. That's FITFEMME Project.com and click Apply Now. Until next time, this is the FitFemme Project Alignment Podcast.